Hello to all my friends. Ooh, that is that. Let me start that over. Hello to all my friends. Thank you um, for tuning in to the Making Money Work for Regular People show. I am your gracious host, Glenn, and I'm gonna try a new angle. Well, me just leaning into my computer. My camera's up there. Um, Today or at this moment, um, I like to talk about the differences between a FHA 203K renovation loan um, in comparison with a Fannie Mae renovation homestyle loan. Okay. And if I was, completely sure as a home buyer and an investor in the market, and I could just redo my home purchases from uh, 2018 and 2019, um, I would go ahead and buy the two flat property first and live in one of the units while my tenants live in the other unit. Okay, that's how I would do it. The pro with that is, you know, um, I'm moving into a recently renovated uh, investment property, and I'll have my tenants, paying the mortgage. So that cuts my expenses down to the minimum. You know, of course, they might need some delayed maintenance or some things like that didn't catch in the rehab, but it would be a pretty cheap living arrangement for my first investment property, you know, and then that property would also afford me some write-offs, for maintaining it. Whereas your primary home, yeah, your primary home, your as they would say, as young people would say, your home, but no, like your single family house, you wouldn't be able to take all those write-offs. You could only write off your property taxes, your insurance, and your mortgage interest, which is a good reason to buy a house. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, by paying the least amount of taxes, that's how you increase your wealth by avoiding by taking your rightful tax deductions and maximizing your returns, or just minimizing taxes paid, because you're a homeowner now. Okay, and you have property to write off you know those particular expenses on. But with rental property, that's a whole different ball game, because that's essentially running. Just think of each rental property as its own separate business, and multiply that by however many that you have or you think you're gonna have in the future, and you see why real estate is the foundation for building wealth. Now, you might have people who made billions in the stock market or millions in the stock market tell you that, yo, I actually made the bulk of my money, in my business and in the stock market. But believe me, And that might very well be the case, but the thing that set them up for being able to do that was owning their own house and not, paying, well, not necessarily paying rent. The rent is not necessarily the problem. The problem with having a rental and you being trying to be an entrepreneur is that you don't have anything to write off. You know, now if you're talking about renting the facility where you conduct business, that's a totally different story. That's deductible. That's tax deductible because that's associated with a business. So, as far as personal wealth, and again, I'm going off on this tangent. I just can't help myself. Like, I really get excited about, the benefits of real estate. And, I feel like I'm on a personal crusade to just debunk these myths about, why you should never buy a house and why buying houses are, cost prohibitive for investors. It's not. You need things to write off anyway. And plus, you shouldn't be buying a house just for tax benefits, but it is one of those benefits. Like me, I'm just be transparent. I'm a very private individual, and so I like my own space. I don't like people being above me or below me, or on the side of me. Being able to smell their cooking smells and being able to hear them have sex or anything like that. So I just, I like the privacy and the tranquility that owning my own home provides me beyond any tax benefits. But now let me just get to the meat of this topic, which is, Glenn, why would you buy as an investor? Why would you, buy a 2-flat first under a FHA 203K loan? Well, I think you need to understand the purpose of both the FHA 203K loan in comparison with Fannie Mae's Homestyle Loan. And they're both great products. However, the advantage that you have with the FHA loan is that you can buy small multifamily residential units, because they're, between 1 and 4 units, because because they're all considered residential by FHA, anywhere between a single family home all the way up to 4 apartment units. Me personally, I think 4 units is just too much of a cost for the majority of new investors to take on when getting into the real estate game. I think 2 units is like the perfect size and the most manageable at the same time within a property structure. And because if you buy it right and you buy a 2-flat that mostly needs what you call it, refinishing, retouching, as one of my mentors used to tell me or tell the class. Like, I don't like the idea of buying a full gut for your first property. Not if you want to make money, and not if you want to minimize exposure to incur debt. First property, no, don't do no Because for one, your first contractor, you're not gonna know him from Adam. You're not gonna know how you're gonna interact with them, whether or not y'all get along well, whether or not y'all work well together. I was very fortunate to meet a contractor who I worked with, and me and him were like on the same accord, you know. And then if there was any questions I had or any concerns, I just give him a call, and he'll just let me know what was going on. He was real straight with me, no nonsense guy, and he just gets things done. You know what I'm saying? Um, so if you do have a bad experience with your contractor, you can just okay after this renovation is over, you can just decide to hire another one for the next project. Um, but with that being said, um, that's the important aspect of the FHA 203K loan. You're able to renovate multiple units with a 3.5% down payment, on the total cost of the, home purchase and the cost of renovation. That's beautiful. Okay. So if your renovation, if your building costs $90,000, I'm gonna just say 100, and your renovation costs, are 75,000. Well, 100 plus 75 is a total cost for the purchase of the building and the renovation at 175,000. However, thank goodness you're only paying, outside of other closing costs, you're only paying a 3.5% down payment on that cost, So, and that's a good way to start, provided that, you're the type of person who can resolve problems and establish good rapport with people. So let me just 3.5. So for the cost of purchasing and renovating a building for 175,000, you're only gonna come out of pocket $6,125 plus whatever the remaining closing costs are on that property. That's not bad. When I thought I had a good deal on a property, and I did, but I had to pay for a $60,000 two flat. I had to pay way more than $6,125 for the renovation. So this is a good way to get your feet wet and to get in the door without incurring a bunch of costs. Now, yeah, that 175 number, I'm not feeling it, but in this climate, that's a good price to pay for. That's an excellent price to pay for a frame two flat that's ready to move in. That you're getting about 3.5, 4%, 4.5% on the loan. That's cheap money. You know what I'm saying? And this, as of February 7th, 2022. So now, what's the purpose of the homestyle renovation? Well, that's a good way for homeowners to be able to purchase a property under value, just like you did in the 203K loan. Purchase a property under value that you can get renovated fully. depending on where the appraisal is at and what's 75% of the total appraisal and all that. Like that's a good way to get some to move into a house that's ready to move in after the renovation project is done. But the weakness of it is it only applies to one unit. Um, you get this under 2 units, you know, um, for no, I'm sorry, for a duplex as they called it. The down payment would be 15%, and so that's significantly more expensive than 3.5%. However, if your sole intent and purposes is to move into this home, um, as a single family with just you and your family, then you actually get a little bit better of a down payment, cost at 3%. So if I had to do it all over again, I would buy a 2 flat somewhere, and then and then live in that unit for about a year or so, and then after that, I would go and buy a single family, or I would just try to get another 2 flat and rinse and repeat. But here's the thing. I probably would go out and get the single family home as a second home and move me and my family there, and use that as my primary residence, and then rent out my vacated unit. Okay. And so now that building, instead of just breaking even, that building is profiting, while I'm in my primary residence. And then after that, I'd probably go ahead and get the third property. So that's the difference between FHA renovation loan, FHA 203K renovation loan, versus a Fannie Mae Homestyle Loan. Again, they're both good products. They do, what they're designed to do. The only con about both products is that you have to basically be the project manager of both renovations. So that means you have to, watch your contractor, but, and I'm probably using the wrong word, more like oversee, more like you have to check in with any general contractor you work with. You have to have a relationship with them, and you have to communicate with them at least once a week. And I would prefer that you go out to the property about the same frequency, maybe once or twice a week, because you want to make sure that everything is getting done in a timely manner. And if there's any kind of delay in the project, you also want him to communicate that to you as well. However, no one's going to oversee and watch and care about your baby and your project and your renovation more than you. So it's your responsibility to maintain that line of communication, and hopefully you guys can really get along and establish a good rapport, so that because then you'll have someone that you'll feel good about working on other projects. This time maybe it's your investments, maybe it's your single family, whatever it is. You have someone that you know personally now, and that you have a relationship with now, and that you can talk to in a very straightforward manner, you know. So I I exceeded the 15-minute mark again. So I'm gonna end here. This video is probably not gonna come out for about a month. So it's February 7th, 2022. I'm probably gonna put it out in March. But this is your gracious host, Glenn. Thank you for tuning in. If you got any kind of value from this content, please like the video and subscribe it. You know, because YouTube likes that stuff too. So make sure you like and subscribe because it's good for the channel and helps the channel grow. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.